Most people think a driver's license is an expense. It's not. It's an investment. Yes, you will spend money on theory, lessons, and the exam, but ask yourself this. What if getting your license actually increases the job that you get by only 3 or 4 hours per euros per hour? This is actually very achievable, and you also get a compensation from your work if you're having a long commute to work. That's in about 20 hours per week, and for more earned dollars per hour, you will earn $80 more every week. Over a year, that's more than $4,000 already, and then you've already probably paid off all of your debt or that you had on the driver's license. And that's just one example. I can just think there are many more examples like this, and there's literally no reason on why you should just procrastinate on getting it, because it will hurt you in the long run. And money isn't the only thing, as I've already said. Time is even more valuable. Imagine going to your commute by public transport, maybe 90 minutes, and you could get there maybe with your car in, let's say, 60 or 50. That's like 40 minutes you saved by only having a car, and 5 days a week if you're working full time. So, and this will stack up and this will compound over the long run. You will have much more freedom. You don't have to rely on people. And also an underrated thing is you can also get a scooter if you have your driver's license. So in my friend group especially, I'm one of the few who hasn't got his driver's license yet. It's also because I'm not 18 yet, but I see them all driving around on scooters, racing in cars, and I just have to watch on my fucking bike. So it's also nice for your social life. You can meet up people easier. You can bring people to places. People will thank you if you like bring them somewhere. So it has multiple advantages that I had to talk about. And yeah, you can get late night food, you can go to maybe sporting events, you can go to further places, you can explore some type of new city in your country, or even go to other countries and maybe ski or something. You have so much freedom. Of course it also costs money, but the freedom you have, I really think you should just get it. And now we'll move on to the point on why waiting makes it worse. Because here's usually what happens: if someone turns 17, they think, I don't need it yet. I'm not yet 18, I can only drive in 18. At least that's in the Netherlands. Maybe if you live in other country, it's maybe different, but they think like, when I'm 17, I don't need it because I can't drive, I'll do it next year. Then they go to school, then they maybe get one job, then they get busy, they get in this whole cycle. And then life gets even busier, and when they're maybe 19, they think, fuck, I didn't even get it yet. Or even when they're 18, they're thinking like, oh, I wish I got it when I was 17 or even 16. So you won't hurt yourself. You're literally invest in yourself. And if you've watched until this point, I know you're interested in my advice and what I have to say. And this is what I would say. You just literally go on Google. I will give you the autistic steps of how you can get it for as cheap as possible and as efficiently as possible. You literally go on Google Safari and you type in driving lessons for free, especially. Most of the time, they're like 10 or 20, even in your surrounding area, that will give you your first driving lessons for free. I want you to apply to them, all of them, or let's say at least like 5 or 6, and spread them over the week. Then you're already gonna get a feel of how the car works and which instructors you like. And you need to make track of who is the best instructor and who gives the best lessons for you. Maybe ask someone you know or your dad, but the most important thing is that you feel comfortable and that he's actually directly, as you're making a mistake, saying what you could do better and what you should do better. That's one of the most important points. And you basically write all of these 6 that you tried, you write them down, and after you've done those 6 or 7 or how many you want, then you go to the best one and you basically say, hey, I really liked how we worked together, I want to get a pack, or you just buy free lessons. And just, you should calculate which one is less expensive basically. Some people they have like like 30 lessons for like, let's say 2,500 euros, but then for every lesson you pay around 50 euros, you know. So then of course don't be a dumbass and get the pack just because he says like you get all these things. Believe me, they're not that expensive, so you have to calculate for yourself, of course. And then you should just pay for every loose lesson, I would say. And so that's what I want you to do today. And my second step is I also want you to book, after you've done this, maybe you've applied to a few websites, I want you to book your theoretical exam. Because for me and many people, what we did, we said, yeah, we would learn a little and then we would book the exam. No, you should book it right now in about 2 weeks, and you should fucking lock in and grind. There are two ways of getting your theoretical degree in traffic. Either you could go to like a kind of, you could pay a course online, which is usually cheaper, but it takes 2 weeks. For me, it takes 2 weeks, but I just learned every day an hour, and I got it in about a week or two. And that's mostly not that expensive, so I went for that choice. But if you want to do it as fast as possible, you basically just search in traffic degree in 1 hour or in one morning, and it's basically like a boot camp. It's the whole, I think, midday or even the morning, and it takes like 5 or 6 hours, I think, and it's like 120 euros or something like that, and you get it the same day. You can apply for the same day. The pros and cons with this is, of course, one is more expensive. The boot camp is way more expensive, but you get it in less time. But also the con of the boot camp is you're gonna forget a lot of things, because time on the retention, you know, you only have one day to memorize all of it. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but because just by your driver's license, a lot of trafficking rules you will kind of just, you know, you will kind of know them already by just driving the car. So my advice is, if you have time and you want to save money, buy the course. But if you don't want to wait and you want to do it now, and you don't mind spending a little bit of more money, and you think you just know the basic rules, then of course go for the bootcamp. And once you've get your passed your theory, um, you should already be doing driver's lessons. Basically, some people think you first need the theory. You know, I first started doing lessons and I got my theory around lesson 12 or something. So don't think you should first get your theory and then start driving lessons. That's all bullshit, man. So that's my advice for you. And you should always listen to your instructor. You know, I have seen this video online on maybe TikTok, on Instagram, where literally people who are not, they don't even have driver's license, and they think they know more than your fucking teacher. Bro, don't be a fucking dumbass. Listen to him. You know, he's employed to do that work. So don't think you're smarter or you can drive better than him. And it's not a fucking race game. You know, in GTA or cars, you know, we like to fucking swerve and I don't know, shoot out the fucking window. This is not GTA. Just make sure you don't make a mistake. That's also my first advice. You don't have to drive perfectly, but just watch what you've driven and which distance, you know, you have driven. Just make sure that you do it safe. It's not GTA. You need some type of speed or something. And I find it actually very fun, also driving license. And one more thing, before your first driving license lesson, also like watch a video of the basics, then you already have a kind of idea what you have to do when the lesson already begins, and this gives you a huge benefit, you know. So yeah, and you will never feel completely ready. That's also my honest advice. And your driver's license isn't about owning a car, but it's about buying freedom. It's about earning more money, and it's about saving maybe even hundreds or tens of hours by commute, or you know, that you have to wait on other people, and you get better job on other opportunities. You're being independent, and yeah, the best time to get it is the first time you're eligible. So that's my message to you, and your future will be thankful for you. So if you've watched till the end of the video, I want to thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.